Okay, this is kind of like for me also, this is kind of like a beginner's guide to controlled bleeding.
Okay.
Okay, just give us the basics, like, your names, how long you guys been around, what kind of music you do, for people who don't know about you, or too much about you, like myself.
Well, my name's Paul Lemos. Drummer's Tony Miola. He's played with me some years ago. The band's been around in different incarnations, probably about 30 years. And Tony and I played 30 years ago, and then we split up, and recently, about a year ago, we got back together because my other two long-time bandmates passed away. I used to play with a guy named Joe Papa and Chris Moriarty, and those guys died within about 2 years of each other. So after doing a lot of records, various European labels and whatever, we started again. So Tony and I, just doing kind of a whole other music thing, but still calling it the same band name, for better or for worse. I don't know what else to say. I'm working on an hour's sleep, so.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So how long have you recently been like doing shows and like this, getting
Well, I hadn't played live. I hadn't played live on stage probably in about maybe 12, 13 years, and so we started just about a year and 3 months ago. Because it's easy. It's a two-piece. Bands like Lightning Bolt, they just pack up and they can do this shit. So it's been easy. Whereas in prior years we had to carry a lot of equipment. You're carrying 4 or 5-piece band, and it made it so hard to kind of, get around. So
yeah.
This is really mobile.
A lot of logistics involved.
So we've been playing, Boston, New York, a lot of places in New York. Played Philly, and now we're branching out into Ohio tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I brought a recorder of my own. Can we expect any recent recording, live shows, any bootlegs that there's access to? The most recent stuff.
Well, there's probably a lot of audio footage floating around.
Right.
I don't have much of it,
Okay.
unfortunately. I'd like to get a hold of some of it. I could use some of it.
Do you guys have a home base on the web or anything like that?
Oh yeah. There's a Facebook page, I think.
Okay.
I have a personal page, and I think there's still a MySpace page.
Okay.
So yeah, there's some.
Yeah, see, this is kind of also helpful for me too, because I've heard of you guys. I know you guys have been around for a long time. You guys kind of inspired the people who inspired me.
Huh.
So it's kind of nice to.
Now, who inspired you?
Early industrial, Einsters, then into Boughton, Throbbing Gristle,
too, man.
and then some of the gothic techno like Skinny Puppy and Ministry, Godflesh. So.
Okay.
But I heard you guys are going to be doing some tribal, noisy rock stuff, and
it's not real tribal.
Okay.
It's pretty rock, kind of fusiony. It's kind of like going back to my roots and the stuff I like. That always inspired me. Bands like Mahavishnu Orchestra, King Crimson. Those are the bands that I've always loved. But I love bands like Arab on Radar. I like the Locust, bands like those.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a combination. But it's not really noisy. I wouldn't say noise. There's not much of a noise component to what we're playing.
All right.
It's pretty straight rock with kind of maybe a little bit of a prog element to it. But I think the problem is to call it controlled bleeding is a little bit confusing to people because they have another expectation from maybe the history of, the prior history.
Well, a lot of bands morph and change, and
Yeah.
you think that's probably a little bit better than not. Maybe.
There's morphing and changing, and then there's doing just totally, music that has no relationship to the past, or to what people might know. And sometimes that's confusing, like a lot of shows. People say, I thought you guys were going to do some noise tonight. I thought you were going to do noise. But, can't you play that song, Words of the Dying?
Right.
Well, my singer's dead, we don't have a singer, and it's a whole other thing. So it puts you in kind of a weird position sometimes, to go out and use an old band name, But,
all right, man. Thanks a lot.